Om Shanti, Morning Murli, 1st August. Sweet letter of Bap Dada for sweet children. Essence, sweet children, imbibe the sweet points of knowledge that the Father gives you. Become very sweet like milk and sugar. Never become like salt water. Sweet children, imbibe the sweet points of knowledge that the Father gives you. Become very sweet like milk and sugar. Never become like salt water. Question: with which great mantra do you children receive the tilak of the new kingdom? With which great mantra do you children receive the tilak of the new kingdom? Answer: at this time the Father gives you children the great mantra. Sweet beloved children, remember the Father and your inheritance. While living at home with your families, live like a lotus and you will receive the tilak of the kingdom. Which mantra Baba gave? Remember the Father and your inheritance. Second question: why is there the saying, as is your vision, so the word? Why is there the saying, as is your vision, so the word? Answer: human beings at this time are impure and ugly. And so they accordingly create such images of their worthy of worship deities, Lakshmi and Narayan, and Ram and Sita. They even create images of Shiv Baba in black stone and worship him. They don't understand what that means. This is why there is this saying. Song: O man, look in the mirror of your heart. Om Shanti, you sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, heard a line from the song. Look in the mirror of your heart and see how much you have sinned and how much charity you have performed. By looking in the mirror of your heart, you can consider how much sin and how much charity you have accumulated. This is the word of sinful souls. The golden age is called the word of charitable souls. How could there be charitable souls here? All continue to commit sin because this is Ravan's kingdom. They themselves say, O purifier, come. We know that Bharat was a land of charitable souls. No one committed sin there. The lion and the lamb would drink water from the same stream. They were like milk and sugar. The Father says, children also be like milk and sugar. How could Tamopradhan souls exist in the world of charitable souls? The Father has now enlightened you. You know that you were Satopradhan deities. There is their praise, full of all virtues, 16 celestial degrees full. We ourselves also used to praise them. People say, I am without virtue. People say, I am without virtue, I have no virtues. Prabhu, we can become like them when you come and have mercy on us. Soul said this. You souls understand that at this time you are sinful souls. The deities who are worshipped were charitable souls. Everyone goes and bows down at the feet of the deity ideals. Sikhs and holy men also go on the pilgrimages to Amarnath and Shrinath Dware. Therefore, this is the word of sinful souls. Bharat was a word of charitable souls when it used to be the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. That was called heaven. When a person dies, people say that he has gone to the heaven. But where is heaven? Where is heaven? When it was heaven, it was the golden age. People simply say whatever enters their minds. They don't understand anything. If he went to heaven, he must surely have been in hell. When a sannyasi dies, they say that he merged into the light. And so that is something different. To merge into the light means that he is not going to come back here. You know that the place where we souls reside is called the land of nirvana, means beyond sound. Vaikuntha, paradise, cannot be called the land of nirvana. Baba tells you children very good, sweet things of knowledge, which you should imbibe very well. You know that Baba has come to show you the path to paradise. The Father has come to teach us Raj Yoga. He shows us the path to the pure word. He becomes our guide and takes us back home. Truly, destruction is just ahead. It is the old world that is to be destroyed. Calamities, etc. take place in the old world. Baba is so sweet. He becomes the stick for the blind. People continue to stumble around in extreme darkness. It is said the day of Brahma and the night of Brahma. Brahma exists here. Brahma exists here. The Father comes to change night into day. For half the cycle it is the night, and for half the cycle it is the day. You now understand this? People believe that the Iron Age is still in its infancy. Sometimes they say this world is to be destroyed, but they don't understand anything. Nowadays, scarcely anyone leaves his home. For some reason or other, they leave their homes and become sannyasis. The government issued an ordinance some time ago saying that even sannyasis should have a license. Even sannyasis should have a license. It should not be that anyone who sulks with his family can go and become a sannyasi. No, in that case he would receive a lot of things for nothing. That is limited renunciation, whereas your renunciation is unlimited. At this time, the whole world is impure. It is the task of the one purifier Father alone to make it pure. In the golden age, there used to be the pure household religion. There are still images of Lakshmi and Narayan. People sing this praise of the deities. You are full of all virtues. There is Hatha Yoga. Sannyasis is Hatha Yoga, the renunciation of karma. However, there cannot be renunciation of karma. Human beings cannot stay without doing something for even a second. The expression renunciation of karma is wrong. This is Karam Yoga and Raj Yoga. You were Sun dynasty deities. You know that you have to take 84 births. They also speak of the castes. No one knows about the Brahman caste. The Father gives you children the great mantra. Continue to remember the Father and your inheritance, and you will receive the tilak of the kingdom. Sweetest beloved children, while living at home with your family, live like a lotus flower. You are not able to achieve as much with anger as you are with love. Become very sweet. Become very sweet. Constantly continue to smile in remembrance of the Father. Look at the pictures of the deity. They are so cheerful. You now know that we were them. We were deities and then we became warriors, merchants and Shudras. Now at the confluence age, we have become the mouth-born creation of Brahma. The mouth-born creation of Brahma is God's clan. You received the Father's inheritance of liberation and liberation in life. You know that at the time when it was the kingdom of deities, there were no other religions. Even the Moon dynasty did not exist then. This is something to be understood. They have understood the meaning of Hamso. They have understood the meaning of Hamso to be. The soul is the supreme soul. You now know that we are once again becoming deities and then warriors. It is the soul that says, when this soul was pure, I had a pure body. That is a viceless word, whereas this is a vicious word. There are the land of sorrow, the land of happiness, and the land of peace, where all we souls reside. They say all of us, Chinese and Hindus, are brother, but they should also understand the meaning of that. Today they say that they are brothers and tomorrow they would shoot one another. All souls are brothers. By calling God omnipresent, the all become the Father. The father has to give the inheritance, whereas the brothers are to receive the inheritance. So there is the difference of day and night. He is the purifier, is he not? And you have to become pure through him. We want to change from human beings into deities. It is mentioned in the Granth. It did not take God long to change human beings into deities. It is also remembered liberation in life in a second. We souls were liberated in life and we are now in lives of bondage. Ravan's kingdom begins with the copper age when the deities go on to the path of sin. They also have sign of that. They have very dirty images of the deities at Jagannath Puri. Previously, you did not understand any of that, but you now understand a great deal. You used to wonder how there could be such dirty images of deities there. Inside, they have dark images of Jagannath. At Srinath Dware too, they have dark images. No one knows why they have shown dark images of Jagannath. They say of Krishna that he was bitten by a snake. But what happened to Rama? What happened to Rama? They show an ugly image of Narayan too. They also have Shivlingam of black stone. They show everyone as ugly. As is their vision, so is their word. At this time, all are impure and ugly, and so they have shown God to be ugly too. At first, they used to worship Shiva by creating a lingam of diamonds. Now, all of those things have disappeared. These are most valuable things. Antique things are given so much value. Antique things are given so much value. It is now 2500 years since worship began. Therefore, those things can only be that old. No more than that. The most ancient images are those of the deities. They say that they are hundreds of thousands of years old. You now know that 5000 years ago Bharat became heaven and that it is now the Iron Age. Destruction is just ahead. Everyone has to go back. Only the Father takes everyone back. You have become Brahmins through Brahma and you will then carry out sustenances there as deities. These things are not mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. The Father says this knowledge disappears. Lakshmi and Narayan are not Trikaldarshi, and so how could this knowledge have continued from time immemorial? It is at this time that you are Trikaldarshi. You do the best service at this time, so you are true spiritual social workers. You are now becoming soul conscious. How can the alloy that it is in the souls be removed? How can the alloy that it is in souls be removed? The father is also the jeweler. When an alloy of iron was mixed into the gold, souls became impure. So how can souls now become pure? The father says, O souls, constantly remember me alone. Constantly remember me alone. The purified father gives you Shrimad. God speaks, O souls, you have alloy mixed in you. You are now impure. Great souls, Mahatma, cannot be impure. There is just one method. Constantly remember me alone. Constantly remember me alone. Your sins will be burnt away in this fire of yoga. There are so many ashrams. They have put up so many pictures of different types of Hatha yoga. This is the bhatti, means furnace of yoga or remembrance. You may live at home with your families and prepare food, etc., and look after your children. But you do have time in the morning. It is said, O mind of mine, remember Rama early in the morning. The intellect is in the soul. People perform devotion early in the morning. So you too wake up early in the morning. You too wake up early in the morning and remember the Father, and your sins absolved. All the rubbish will be removed, and so your souls will become pure. You will then also receive pure bodies. You souls now don't even have 2 carats left. There has to be a count of 84 births of the deities of Bharat. The word history and geography are now to be repeated. However, no one knows what its duration is. They don't even know the duration of each cycle. The Father says, I have come to give you Shrimad and to make you elevated. Only by staying the fire of remembrance will your alloy be removed. There is no other method. You children have to be courageous. Don't be afraid. Why should children whose father is God, the protector himself, be afraid of anything? What curse can anyone give you? None at all. Acha, to the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and we spiritual children says Namaste, good morning to our sweetest spiritual father. Essence for dharana: do everything you have to do with love, not with anger. Do everything you have to do with love, not with anger. Remain constantly cheerful by remembering the Father. Constantly continue to smile like the deities. Constantly continue to smile like the deities. Remove the alloy that is mixed in the soul by staying in the fire of remembrance. Have your sins absolved. Become courageous and do service. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Today blessing. Feel Baba's hand on your head and take blessing. May you be a master, almighty authority, and keep all your physical organs in law and order. May you be a master, almighty authority, and keep all your physical organs in law and order. Baba is saying a master, almighty authority Raj Yogi is one who becomes a self-sovereign and uses all his physical organs according to his law and order. Just as a king has a court, in the same way you have to hold a daily court of your royal workers, means your physical organs. Baba is saying, just as a king has a court, in the same way you have to hold a daily court of your royal workers, your physical organs, and ask them about their welfare to make sure none of your workers are in opposition and they are all under control. They are all under control. Those who are master almighty authorities cannot be deceived by even one of their physical organs. As soon as you say stop, they stop. Slogan: to use all your powers according to the right time is to be a master almighty authority. To use all your powers according to the right time is to be a master almighty authority. Om Shanti. Now invaluable elevated versions of Mateshwari ji. First, in fact, receiving knowledge is a matter of a second. So if a person understands everything in a second, then it should only take him a second. Also to know his own religion. I am a soul who is an embodiment of peace and a child of God. To understand this is a matter of a second. But you don't need to do any hatha yoga, chanting or tapasya or any spiritual endeavor to have this faith. But you simply have to catch hold of your original form. So, what is all the effort that we make for? It is explained that all the effort we are making is just for this little thing. For instance, if we want to make a life practical, we have to completely remove all body consciousness. If we want to make a life practical, we have to completely remove all body consciousness. In reality, all your efforts are required to become soul conscious and to imbibe divine virtues. We have to be cautious at every moment, at every step for this. When we are cautious about Maya, then no matter how many calamities come in front of us, they will not be able to oppose us. Maya will oppose us when we forget ourselves. There is just this much margin for us to create our practical lives. However, knowledge is of a second. Second point, this godly knowledge of ours has not emerged from our own intellects, nor is it our understanding, our imagination or our thoughts. For this knowledge is what we have heard from the Creator of the world, as well as that the knowledge we have heard and then experienced and understood with our consciousness, we relate that to you in practical. If it were a question of just our own consciousness, it would then only work for us. But we have heard this from God and we have then imbibed and experienced it with our consciousness. Whatever we imbibe, it is considered our when our conscience accepts it and we have experienced it. We know this from Him. So what's God's creation? So what is God's creation? Who is God? It is not a matter of our thoughts, because if it were, it would arise in our minds. Therefore, the main points that we have received from God to be imbibed is to have yoga. However, before we can have yoga, we need knowledge. Why do we need this knowledge before we can have yoga? First is thinking, then understanding, and then we can have yoga. First is thinking, then understanding, and then we can have yoga. It is always said that we first need understanding, otherwise wrong actions will be performed, and this is why knowledge is essential first. Knowledge is an elevated stage, and we need intellects to know this, because the highest on high God is teaching us. Because the highest on high God is teaching us. Acha, Om Shanti. Thank you, Mama.